I remember thinking when I spoke to you, I know he's going to call out some things, and I was aware of that.
Yeah.
And then I kind of thought, I need to be prepared to change it. As soon as I feel a dip in energy, I think I'll have a cup of tea and a biscuit, or I would. But now I don't even think about it. Running on the weekend, which was my treat thing to do, and if I didn't feel up to it, it became like the part that I thought, oh, I just can't do it.
Okay.
And then I'd feel a bit flat afterwards. If I have a month where I've like dropped out of any habit, the first thing I notice is a sugar craving goes up. I went to go to the doctor to see if I needed HRT, because I was like, I'm in my 40s, is this something I need? And they did some blood tests and they were like, well, your vitamin D is low and this is low. And you think, oh, okay, so I can start there. But it was like...
So I'm just en route to Berkhamsted to have a chat with an old client who was actually one of the first clients to ever go through the Performance Accelerator program. And Wendy started in a place where she was low and inconsistent energy. She trained a lot. She did functional fitness and CrossFit, but also running and ultra running. She was a full-time mum as well as working full-time, so she had a lot on her plate. And she knew that her nutrition habits could be improved. So in just over 10 weeks, managed to get her to a point where she's no longer craving sugar, where her energy levels were consistent, and actually she could train more if she wanted to. Now, because it's almost been 2 years since we first connected, I'm super keen to find out if the Performance Accelerator does what it says on the tin, which is provide people with nutrition habits that stick long term. Before we go and find out, I want to quickly give you a heads up. There is a side reason as to why I'm keen to see Wendy today, and that is because yesterday she got a new puppy. So we're gonna meet Peggy for the first time, whilst having a chat a little bit about how Wendy got on through the Performance Accelerator. Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, come on. Right.
Oh God, your house is so clean.
It's only because I'm stuck here, not really leaving at the moment with her. So when she's sleeping, I'm just tidying.
Okay.
Getting jobs
Oh,
done.
hello. You must be Peggy.
This is Peggy.
Hey, Peggy. Come in to say hello. You're a little bit curious.
She was an accidental litter, so I
Okay.
don't think the woman was particularly aware of what to do, and she didn't really separate the mother.
Okay.
So we've had a lot of crying because she's not used to being away from her
Yeah.
now.
Oh.
Or her sisters. So it was like a big 7 dogs to
How old is she?
8 weeks.
She's so young. Hello. Hello, hello. And how are you?
Yes, I'm fine. How are you? It's
Yeah,
nice to
really
see
good.
you.
Yeah, come here.
Congratulations. The last time I saw you, you hadn't even had Aurora yet.
Oh, goodness,
I
yeah.
know.
That's
Which
mad.
is mad. So I
Yeah,
keep seeing
yeah,
videos of her
she's
and
like
she's big
17
now.
months.
Yeah.
Toddling.
Yes.
Which is, I mean, everyone says time flies, and I keep trying to just be there in the moment and
I know.
like just watch the milestones happen, but it's crazy. Oh, you've got chickens as well.
I do. Yeah.
This is lovely, Wendy.
Thank you. So that I think I hadn't done. I only finished this. Come here, you.
Hello.
Finished this in January.
Yeah.
I bought it a year ago, and it was completely
Yeah.
just like a derelict. This 95-year-old woman living in the lounge.
Oh,
And that
wow.
was
So
it.
you've
So
like,
this was the garden. So I've extended it, and
oh,
the
amazing.
kitchen was just that little bit of the corridor there.
Like a
So it
little
was
gully
a
kitchen.
tiny-
I mean, it's absolutely stunning.
Thank you. So,
I love the big, wide, and you've got, yeah, perfect plants and light.
Yeah, it's good settling in. It's strange. Because my son went to uni, so we had like 6 months of it feeling really nice and full, and lots of his friends coming in and out.
nice.
And suddenly it's like it's quiet. Eliza, my daughter, is with her boyfriend at the moment. She's only 16, but she's kind of in and out and has her own thing going on. And,
Yeah.
And now, yes, Sab is gone. So it's just us now. So I was even saying yesterday, like having a puppy. We had a Labrador when the kids were 5 and 7, and it was just chaos because it was like 2 kids running around,
Yeah.
and the dog just kind of slotted in. Whereas now it really feels noticeable because I'm so used to just not having to
Yeah, so it's
do
quite nice
anything.
having her
Yeah, a little
around.
friend now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your chickens called?
We've got Dolly, Pisco, and Blanche.
Okay. Dolly, Pisco, and Blanche.
Dolly Parthen. She's named by Eliza.
Dolly Parton.
Blanche
amazing.
is Blanche is one of the Golden Girls,
Okay.
and Pisco is named after a cocktail group I have. But I got them from a farm in Cambridge, and they all have health problems, which is slightly annoying. So
so they don't lay as much?
So 2 of them don't lay at all.
Okay.
And only after a few months, which is odd.
Yeah. Positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
Love it.
So when I got her yesterday, it was quite dark. So she's only been running around in the dark. I was chasing her all over the place.
Don't lose
trying to give her like a bit of freedom just to go to the toilet, basically.
Yeah.
And but then also she was like running and flying and stopping here. I was going, so it's much better now that it's light out and she can see like the dangers. So it's like, but at least the chickens were in bed because now she's going up and stressing them a little bit. So one of them lays, but she lays quite often without a shell, so she's not having enough calcium, so I have to make sure she has calcium. They have to have oyster shell to make the shells, and if not, they just lay the egg without the shell and eat it. So it's like, I just feel like they've actually become a little bit more work. I've had chickens before and they are no issue. So I think it was the farm. I should have known, when you go to pick something up and they wouldn't let me see where they were raised. They had 3 of them in a box, and I was like, can I see? And they said, oh no, we raised them off site. And I was like, so
red alarm bells coming.
Yeah, no.
But it's good that you're able to do it because it sounds like they do need quite a bit of work.
Yeah, I mean, when they're all like in the summer, they were laying, and I had blue eggs, and it was really nice.
And how are your energy levels at the moment?
Yeah, I'm tired. I think I'm doing too much. I mean, I know I'm doing too much, but I think I'm not sleeping enough for what I'm doing. Because I've started not a new job, I've been at a job for the last 4 months where I need to be in London a bit more.
Okay.
We can
I knew you had that new job, yeah.
Yeah, let's go in.
So there's a bit more commuting as well?
It's a bit more commuting, and I'm still trying to get to the gym, which is tricky. It's 6 a.m. So I'm getting up at 5, going straight from the gym. Just give me a pause. And then I'm not getting home till about 7:30, literally eating something, turning around and doing the same thing again. And I'm just I don't think I'm eating enough. Okay. The good news is at work, there is a really good canteen where I can get like decent salads. And then they just say like with protein, and you can just get a big piece of chicken or salmon on top of it. So it's
easier to balance it.
Yeah, at least I'm having one like good meal.
Yeah.
Then the other side of it is like pasta and what I'll talk about on that, because I was thinking about things that takeaways I've had from you, and things that I'm still doing, and I'm still making all of my breakfast bowls with lots of different grains and trying to keep my gut health kind of slightly better just from having a range of grains. So that's one of the things that I'll talk about when we
nice.
But I was thinking about it.
Let's sort of maybe kick things off, like why you wanted to start the Performance Accelerator?
Sure. Yeah, so I actually didn't want to start it. I remember thinking before I spoke to you, do you want to go down this road? Because I knew I wasn't 100% right with what I was doing, but I kind of also felt like I'm doing enough, and then I didn't necessarily want to change it. So I remember thinking when I spoke to you, I know he's going to call out some things, and I was aware of that. Yeah. And then I kind of thought, I need to be prepared to change it if that happens. So I think it was only a couple of days from when I saw you speak, and I thought, actually, no, there are some truths there. I can see that I go to the gym 6 days a week. I go at 6 a.m. and by the end of the week, I'm pretty broken. And I remember us talking about that in one of the first sessions. I was going, it's fine. Sunday will be my rest day. I'll be okay.
It's almost like that just becomes the reality.
Yeah, and I just thought that was how I felt. And my performance had started to plateau, particularly running. And I just chalked that up to the fact that I had been weightlifting more, so I was heavier, and didn't think anything about what nutrition could do to impact that.
Right.
And I remember listening to you speak, and I was like, oh.
So what was the tipping point then that made you think, actually, I will try the program?
You were talking about the order that we can eat and how, just making me think about, do I ever think about how I eat? Okay. And I think it was like, I just accepted that food goes in, and I'm mostly carbohydrate based because I use a lot of energy. And that was literally all I thought about. And I think we also started speaking. I went up to you after the session and talked about the fact that I skip breakfast, but I do 6 a.m. workouts every day. And you were like, well, you might just want to try just having a banana, something small. And I just started doing that week. And I thought, oh no, I can actually tell already. Like I could just instantly tell a difference in the energy that I had for my session. So I thought I'd give you a call and see how the program would work.
Yeah, so in terms of energy, before you started? Like, how were all the 6 a.m. sessions?
So Monday, so I always had weekends. I would do like an 8 a.m. kind of either run or pretty heavy cardio session, and then just eat and kind of do what I wanted for the rest of the weekend. So a lot of resting, like slower walks with the dog, and then I would also just eat whatever. So big roast, big breakfast, snacks. I just didn't hold back. And I think I was fully charged and ready Monday and Tuesday morning. And I would like, they were by far my best days. I'd always feel the best after them. The recovery was quick. And then by Thursday, I was like, actually, I'm really tired. I could feel like a drain in my body. And I remember talking to you about it and you saying, well, what are you eating in the week? So I realized that by Monday and Tuesday, which were, I was skipping breakfast. I never ate breakfast. I wouldn't have anything until like maybe an 11s.
And that sort of served you for the first few days because your petrol tank was well topped up from the Sunday.
Yes, exactly. Which is what you said. And I was thinking, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. And because I was so fueled from the weekend, Monday and Tuesday, it kind of, not that it didn't matter what I ate, but I was less reliant on putting back in what I had used. So I started, I remember one of the sessions that you said, why aren't you eating breakfast? And I was like, I don't have time. And, you know, I'm a mom of 2, I'm working full time. Like I don't have time. I think about meal prepping for them. And then I just...
Classic mum move, you put everyone else
I'm
first.
I'm far too busy looking after other people. And I really believed that. And then I was laughing because I was thinking as I walked away from that session, I do meal prep for everyone else. Like what? And actually, probably the things I meal prep for me, they would eat. So I think then once I realized that I just went
scale it.
And we started making on a Sunday night like these breakfast bowls where we put a base, either like porridge oats or some sort of rye flakes or something. A few different either pieces of dry fruit cut up, or we'd make like a fresh fruit topper or something. And some pumpkin seeds. We put some savory things in. The kids got really into it, and then we just stacked them up and made 15 of them. Each of us had one every morning with some yogurt, and I just felt so much better. So I would have a banana before the 6 a.m. class. I would do my workout and come home and have breakfast straight after.
And then it was already prepped.
And it was already ready, have my coffee on my way to work. And I was like, oh, I actually feel really good. And it was like,
so it wasn't just then the energy in the sessions, actually, like how was work with the new strategy?
So suddenly I just was able to maintain, I think, even emotionally, a much more like level. I was much more level in my approach to work. So whereas before, and I think I can get quite hangry. So I think I could feel as my mood was dipping, maybe I'd be like less present in a meeting, or the team I was managing, I found like I had less patience. So suddenly thought, I don't need to just get to 11 o'clock and have that biscuit and a cup of tea to make it to lunchtime.
It's not surviving anymore.
And that's how I always treated it. It was like, just get to lunch. And I don't know why, I guess I just would always say that I was a person who skipped breakfast, but I had no real reason for doing it. Anyway, it's like, since I've seen you, that's the number one thing that I am doing now is
that you're still
consistently eating that exact type of breakfast that I make with the kids. We do lots of different things in it. It's never the same.
So there's the variety piece as well.
And I feel like if I don't get anything else right in the week because it's busy, I'm doing that thing.
You can fall back on that one.
But then once I started doing that, I also could start prepping lunches or dinner. So once I started making that on scale, then we were doing the same thing with doing like kind of grains and a protein for lunch, different sauces to put on top.
I think that always seems scary because you think about behavior change. It's like, well, I want to be here, but actually you just want to take that first step, and then that becomes habit, becomes routine, and then it's like, well, now I'm doing this, and it's just easy. We can do the next little bit.
Exactly. Well, and I think that was the thing I liked about the program, is that like every week it wasn't a big change. It was just a small build on, well, why don't we try doing this? And actually, you're right, I can do that because I'm already doing this part.
I suppose when you're seeing the benefits as well.
I could really tell. And I think because running on the weekend, which was my treat thing to do, and if I didn't feel up to it, it became like the part that I thought, oh, I just can't do it. And then I'd feel a bit flat afterwards. Then it was like, oh no, I've got the energy for it. And then the second thing that we started doing was looking at how I was fueling during my runs, because I've done ultras in the past and my nutrition planning for them was always a bit of an add-on.
Yep.
And I think
I find it mad how many people approach quite an extreme sport where you're going for hours with just I'll just eat this and this. And I mean, you can sort of get by to a certain extent, but it then becomes harder, like increasingly hard to have good energy for everything else in your life.
Yeah, and the training though, like it's running an ultra is about the training and how much time you can put into that. And if that's not effective, because I have a short amount of time to train, and if I'm not feeling up to it, but I realized that I can't remember how we were talking about it, but I never take anything out to run with me unless I'm doing like a half marathon or more. And I was thinking, this is crazy.
What's the impact on the signaling for that? Yeah.
And also getting through an event and suddenly saying, okay, well now you're going to try to eat every X amount of kilometers, having not done it. I found that really difficult because it wasn't part of my normal routine. And so all the kind of things that can happen.
So the strategies we put in place in terms of training your gut and actually getting used to fueling and training.
Yeah, fueling whilst running and how that impacts even like your breathing techniques, like chewing while running. Like I think I don't really like to have gels, so I was like bringing dates with me, and then that was tricky. And so
how did that crossover with eating more actually translate into how you felt on the run?
Well, I felt better on the run, and I could go so better training sessions or faster sprint cycles. But also it didn't break me for the rest of the day. So I felt like the recovery was better, which is important because I need to get back into life fairly quickly after.
Yeah, I mean, not just then performance and recovery, but like what else is that energy allowing you to do?
So at the moment, I have this little lady, but I also coach CrossFit classes for kids. And
I remember right back at the start, it was like, I want to do more.
Yeah.
And it was just not quite able to have the energy to do that. So you're able to
So
do
even on
coaching now as
Thursday,
well.
I'm still getting up to the gym, doing my work day, coming back from London and getting over to coach a teen weightlifting class, which I absolutely love. The kids are amazing. But I essentially with that class, I have to do the workout with them. So
you've got to show the movement.
You have to show them the movements, and they really pushing through doing burpees and things, like they want you there feeling the pain with them.
Yeah.
So essentially I'm kind of adding in another
doing
session.
An extra session.
Yeah. So and I needed to have energy for that, and that's always like, what can I eat quickly on the train to make sure I've got energy for that session, and then also again it's like thinking ahead about what I can have at home when I get back at 8:30, so that I'm fueled for the next day. So
it sounds like the planning piece we did in terms of thinking about when you're doing the exercise, when you're training, and then knowing what to have ahead of time so that you can then plan that in.
Yeah, I think that was a massive part of it. And I know we didn't talk specifically about like very individual recipes, but I think talking about the makeup of what I was looking to do, how much protein I was trying to get, and balancing that with carbs, like across or different levels of fat that, women usually are like taught not to think about fat. You're avoiding that and actually thinking, no, I do need that. And it like just made me a bit more creative about the meals I was making as well. So I think that's got a big impact.
So was there anything in particular about the program, like any of the habits or maybe like the refueling piece that you thought, right, that's where it all changed a little bit, where it started to click?
Yeah, so I think the thing that I really noticed is that in doing sessions like that, it's what you tell others that like had an impact, or you hear them talking and you think, you know what you should do. Yeah. And that's the, like, especially I'd say like busy mums, busy working mums. Yeah. They're telling me how tired they are, and the first thing I say is, what are you eating? Because I have a feeling that if they're like me, they're skipping breakfast and not prioritizing themselves, but still just mentally strong enough to push through and just keep going. And you just keep going, and you think, oh, it's fine. I'll hoover up whatever the kids haven't eaten for dinner, or I'll have something really sugary because it's there. I think just giving yourself a bit of priority, saying like, well, that's not really great for me at the moment. Yeah. And I think as well, approaching like menopause, perimenopause, this like so many things nutritionally that you can do in terms of varying your like the nuts and seeds and proteins that you're getting. It's not just like chicken every day. And I think it actually, there are things about it that you can kind of make it like a treat for yourself versus, which is what I've really felt like I've done with the meal planning, is I try and make my breakfasts like
exciting,
nice and something new and something different from me, and then I let the kids kind of come second in that for the first time, which is nice.
So to reflect back what you said, it's being critical with what you actually need, and then bringing yourself higher up the priority list so that you can plan in adequate nutrition, exciting nutrition, so that you're able to meet your needs and have energy afterwards.
Absolutely, and I don't think that just benefits me. I think it's better for me at work, obviously, my co-workers, but it's better for my kids as well, because I'm coming home and I still have energy to cook them a proper dinner and to, listen to them when they're telling me about their homework, or, and still do like kind of mum admin.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was always like, okay, let's do that part now.
Go. It's no longer a chore, it's something exciting.
Yeah, because I just feel like I've got energy all around to do those things.
That's insane.
So, yeah.
And I suppose there's a bit of a crossover, like kids don't necessarily do as we say, they do as we do. And then you're that role model, sort of engaging positively.
Absolutely. So my son went to university this year, and I was like, what are you going to eat?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of mums like worry, and I was imagining a lot of kind of air fryer chicken pieces and things like that. But he's been sending me pictures of like chicken with salad. He makes like nice looking wraps. He cuts up cucumber and lots of like gherkins and pickles and kimchi, and so
kimchi,
things. So this is like, okay,
not your classic student. Yeah,
it's definitely gone in a little bit.
I mean, if I think back to what I was eating as a student, it's like tuna mayo wraps. In a George Foreman.
There were I was like expecting a lot of beans on toast to be, but I've not seen them yet. So
if that has been some of the nutritional knowledge, education habits coming through the program that have allowed your son to eat differently.
I think so.
That's insane.
He's always been a bit of a like fussy eater as well. So like when he was younger, so just to see him being a bit more adventurous with things now that I'm not there telling him to, I think he's. We don't raise where he's seen it before, because he doesn't want to be told that. But I definitely can see an impact from just having a bit more variety around him.
I mean, you mentioned the gut health piece and the variety just being something that's now a normal thing, but not just getting the variety in, actually having it as a way of bringing new textures, new flavors, keeping the food exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my daughter's always been super interested in food, so she was telling me about kimchi. Like she's definitely adventurous when it comes to food, so it's nice to see him also kind of picking that up. Knife them shorts from this.
Then the final bit I want to check in on is, you mentioned, I mean, I was reviewing your form before we got into this, when we started right back in December 2023.
Wow.
It's like approaching 2 years ago. So some of the things there, it was like cravings were a bit of a piece. And I know we've sort of talked around it where eating more in the morning has helped with that, but could you like explain a little bit about what cravings were like before the program and then afterwards?
Yeah, so I think because I was leaving my tank empty for so long in the morning, it was such a strong like sugar carb hit that I was looking for. Because you get that
big signal.
And I was really hungry for just something sweet. And then it became like such a habit that I always started my day with that. And what I realized is it's still fine for me to start my day with something sweet especially if I'm going straight to the gym. So I'll have a banana, or I'll have a biscuit or something on my way, knowing that I'm going to go and have this session. Yeah. But I don't feel the need for it throughout the day. Whereas before it would be, as soon as I'd feel a dip in energy, I think I'll have a cup of tea and a biscuit, or I would. But now I don't even think about it. So I don't think I have a massively sweet tooth anyway. But I was noticing, and I can still, because I wouldn't say that I'm perfect with this. If I have a month where I've like dropped out of any habit, the first thing I notice is a sugar craving goes up. Okay. And I think, okay, what are you doing? Have a little check-in, because usually it's like, oh yeah, you've skipped breakfast 3 times this week.
Wow.
So I can, I'm much more in tune to that now.
And I say there's a lot of introspection, like reflection going on. And I think for me, it sounds like over the last 2 years, having finished the program, you're not just sort of putting up with it anymore. You're able to be critical with what's happening, but then have the knowledge to make the right sort of changes.
Well, definitely the knowledge is there and I still look back on our notes and think about, because there's especially things like amount of protein that I was having, and it's so easy to lose that. Like when I went through a house renovation, and it's like I don't have access to the kitchen. What am I doing to make sure I'm still hitting these? And I can, we would have talked about other things to do, or quick wins.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll look back on those notes and see what I wrote down. And obviously having my chickens, there's a lot of eggs consumed now.
Yeah.
So yes, there's that as well.
So with this sort of increase in energy, more training, what's the next milestone?
Well, I was meant to do another ultra last year, and I
Okay.
had some
Which
pain.
one?
It was the
Madeira?
Ultra X, with
Yep.
Madeira, the
Yep.
110k. But I had tendonitis in my foot, and I had to pull out. So I'm looking to do that.
Okay.
It's
So
a
you're able to
November race,
defer that?
so yeah, I was able to defer
Okay.
it. So I've got it booked in for next year, and that's the goal.
the goal. Oh, so exciting. How are you
Yeah.
feeling about it?
Yeah, I need to. I feel like I'm just keen to get some training, and I'm keen to get back into it. At the moment, I'm still balancing the CrossFit
Yeah.
addiction, the joy of doing the
Yeah.
weightlifting, and I know I need to stop doing that so much just to give myself some time to run, because I've got a short amount of time in my week. But yes, excited
Okay,
to do
that's
that.
very exciting. And then just sort of final question is that if there was someone on the fence about the Performance Accelerator program, like was there anything in particular that you'd say to them?
Yeah, I would 100% say you think you know what you're doing. Because I think with the coaching as well, I see so many people come in and saying, I know how to do this. And you think, yes, I'm sure you do, but there's always a way to be better. And I think with nutrition, like having a more introspective look at it, and like being able to really review what you do, I can guarantee there are things that you can do to be better. So I would say the program really allows you to look into what your behaviors and patterns are like, and where you can make some improvements.
I suppose that's the beauty of the personalized approach, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
got to
absolutely.
find out solve specific problems unique to the individual.
Exactly. And I don't think it's a one-size-fits-all model at all with nutrition. So it really does need, I think the individual aspect of this is really important.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks. What I was going to say is that the reason that I would suggest to people that they should speak to you
Right.
is everyone has access to Instagram Reels and TikTok and
ChatGTP.
telling them what they should do, as if they know them, as if they're speaking directly to them. And what they're doing is using clickbait and trying to get more views. And so they're not necessarily going to be speaking a truth that works for you. And I think that the part that I really enjoyed about speaking to you one-to-one is that yes, I tick a lot of boxes. I'm in my 40s and, I'm this level of active or whatever, but that doesn't cover the things that are specific to me. And that was where I felt like we made some real kind of game-changing decisions around how I approach nutrition. So it wasn't something that I think I could have just read about or watched a video on. It was something I needed to go a little bit deeper into. So I think that's the point I would say to somebody if they were asking me.
Yeah, so it speaks to the personalized approach, I guess.
Absolutely. I
But
really
also,
think
like
that's true.
don't toot my own horn, just being qualified doesn't really necessarily toot my own horn, like registered, qualified.
Well, this is it. I know that I with my kids, it really worries me the number of things that they say that they're going to do because they saw a YouTuber do it, or they.
So I did some CPD on Wednesday. It was like a Yakult study day.
Yeah.
And a statistic came up that 98% of the nutrition information on Instagram, 98, doesn't follow the government guidelines.
I mean, that's insane.
So it's
Well,
2% of the information out there is.
That's
is good.
crazy. But I think this is the thing is that, and I think maybe this was even happening when I saw you 2 years ago, is that my son was coming home with like all of these, Mom, I'm going to take this creatine and this thing. And then he was taking all these like cocktails of powders, and they could have been fine, but maybe not for a 16-year-old boy. And it was like, just because you've seen someone on YouTube do it doesn't mean that it's the right thing for you. And it was
also,
making
that's
me
like-
really nervous.
That's the top of the pyramid, isn't it? That we focus on because it's I can just do that and it'll be
Yeah.
done. But actually working on that base, getting the nutritional habits right.
Well, and this is it. It's like, it's such a nutrition isn't a tick box exercise. And like, I was feeling like unwell in more of like a kind of physical energy, but also just emotional. And I went to go to the doctor to see if I needed HRT, because I was like, I'm in my 40s. Is this something I need? And they did some blood tests and they were like, well, your vitamin D is low and this is low. And you think, oh, okay, so I can start there. But it was like, I didn't even, sometimes you do need to speak to a doctor, or sometimes you need to speak to a specialist to get, a very specific approach for you.
Yeah.
So, just taking a bunch of supplements because you've seen someone on, TV do it doesn't.
I mean, the amount of times I work with clients, and I don't necessarily say, right, you're going to stop doing X, Y, Z, because the intention is, well, as a qualified professional, it's like, we don't first want to do any harm, but actually if there is a slight placebo benefit, let's let them have it for a little bit until we've increased their knowledge and guided them around whether they really need it.
Yeah.
Build the nutritional habits so that their energy's go up. Then if you take those things away, they're not actually like missing anything.
Yeah.
And they're just saving money basically.
Well, this is it. And I think with supplements, it's always a bit of a question mark around, especially now you're seeing things out there for like super greens or this, and you're like, do I need to have that? I'm actually just eating a lot of green food. Is that okay? And you don't know if I don't have the shaker and the AG whatever.
AG1. So because I used to work in the supplement industry, I know the margins on those products.
Yeah.
It's like about 92%. So, and I mean, it might be slightly less if they're putting in really expensive bits and bobs, but it will still be 85 to 90% margin. So what that allows is a huge budget for marketing. So all of the health professionals that are doing like sports psychologists, some of these podcasts that I love and listen to, AG1 is promoting. And it's like, I take this, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you're not a registered professional. And actually, if you are a registered professional, you're not allowed to promote stuff that there isn't a wide body of evidence for, and you're not allowed to get kickback.
Wow.
So basically, anyone who's promoting that is doing it for self-interest.
Yeah.
So you need to be critical as like why people are doing it. And then you're right, you can get everything you need from eating more fruit and veg.
I know, well, and I think that's the thing, like kids like to have like I get it, like they want the capsule version because it's easier, but I think once they start paying for it themselves, this is what I'm noticing now. Suddenly, that's why I was thinking, is my son eating more fruit and veg now because the supplements are a lot more? But anyway, that was just something I was thinking completely.
No, I think lots of people will resonate with that.
Yeah. Even having a check-in with you has been is like really helpful because it makes me stop and think, oh, have I been doing those things? And as I said, like when I'm feeling like really craving something, I think, why am I doing that? Why is that happening? And I literally do go back to our sessions.
Yeah,
and
it's like, am I the elephant or the rider at the moment?
Exactly.
Increasing that pause time.
That's the thing. I don't, it's like any sort of adjustment to, habit is that you have to keep checking in and making sure you're doing it. It's not something that you say, I'm going to change that, and then it just happens.
And unfortunately, that's what we want. It's what's the one thing I can do? But I tend to find the majority of people that come to my door have tried it all before. They've tried the quick fix, they've tried X diet, and actually now they're ready for what is the long-term change. Yeah. And it's investing in their self, their knowledge, their habits. So I was chatting in the car to the camera being like, keen to see where Wendy is because it's been almost 2 years since we finished the program. And the fact that you're still doing all of these things is just pretty heartwarming.
Well, it's good. I mean, I have to say, there's lots of things that you have, if you go and do a coaching thing for work or a mentoring session or you have counseling and they tell you this is what you're going to have to do, and you're like, oh, it's actually a hard thing. It's not like I'm just going to do an hour session and sort it out. And it's the same. It's like you have to constantly keep working at it. And I think with exercise, if you are a person who just has always exercised, and I've always done something, but I wouldn't say I'm like a sporty person particularly. I feel like I know I have to work hard to maintain, and even coordination wise, it's not something that comes naturally to me. But as I'm getting older, just doing what I always did is getting harder, and that doesn't feel great. That starts to make you think, that's happening. So I think the nutrition part of it actually gives you a bit of control back. Yeah. So you think, okay, this isn't just, it's not the end of exercise for me. It just means I have to approach how I prepare for it differently. I suppose it's like the thing with a hangover as well. The older you get, the worse it feels, and you think, okay, just have to approach how I'm going to have a night out differently.
So, it's funny you mentioned control, because I actually had another client that said, like, this is the bit I used in marketing and like teased it out, but she said, it's like I've got control, but in a good way. Yeah. Whereas before it was sort of control and it was like food was almost the enemy. Yeah. But now it's actually food can do all these positive things and I've got control of that and it's making me feel better. So I think that was the stepping stone that allowed her to improve her relationship with food a bit.
Totally. And also to accept that there are times in your life when you need to control it because you are training for an event and you know it's going to be hard, you know it's going to be 4 months where you're going to have to dig deep and do that. Or maybe it's like you're in a winter part of your, rest cycle for yourself, and you're just resting and you're just being kind, and that means you can change your nutrition for that. And I think it's quite nice to think about food and nutrition supplementing where you are in your life.
The fancy way of describing that is periodizing it and actually giving yourself that freedom to eat food that you're like, oh, it's not clean food.
Yeah.
But food is also something that is a privilege, and it's an emotional thing, and it's an absolute pleasure. So if we can just enjoy the food, then we've got that relationship where we're like, well, yeah, I do want to eat that, and I'm making that decision. That's okay.
100%. I have a real issue with eating something and feeling bad after. If I'm going to eat something, I'll accept that it's going to make me feel good in the moment. Maybe I'm going to enjoy it.
Has that always been, or is that more since the program?
I think I've always had an element of that, because I think you just, especially as a woman, you grow up watching people go, I shouldn't have this, and then they eat it, and I think, well, don't tell yourself that, just enjoy it. So I've always had a bit of that, but I think this has made me really think about whether or not I'm going to let that win. So you might have that in your mind, but I love a mince pie. I'll have one. I would have one all year round, and so I'm not going to kind of lead up to Christmas feeling bad for having a bit more, indulgence at that time in the year. I'm just not going to do it. And if that means I've got to run a bit more, or I'm going to exercise a bit more because I've got a bit of extra energy because I'm eating a bit more, fine. If not, I know it will kind of balance out, because I know how my exercise patterns are.
I think you're right. It's the balance. It's what is the right balance for this individual? And if you want to have a mince pie, great, go for it. If that's going to bring you pleasure, like happy days, we can fit that into a healthy, nutritious diet that's going to allow you to reach your goals and have healthy long-term habits.
Exactly.
So it's about that sort of enjoyment, as well as eating to fuel and have energy and have a good gut microbiome and all these long-term habits. It's doing that because that's going to be sustainable.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing. You always hear people say, oh, I might as well just have that because I've already messed up this week. As if there's you can't.
Right, well, thank you for that. It's been absolute pleasure.
Really good to see you. Take care.
Yeah.
Enjoy
and
your weekend.
When you are back in running mode,
yes, absolutely.
We will run.
Yes. Well, I'm hoping I've just signed up for the Burko half, so I'm doing some running.
Oh, cool. That's just March.
February
March,
time?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
well, I'm probably going to be doing that.
Yeah. Good.
Because I'm doing a couple of halves in Feb.
It's my favourite one. I do it even when I've done
I've heard
training.
It's really scenic.
I just love it so much. I always turn it.
Well, we'll do it.
See you then.
Indeed.
Cool. Enjoy the lakes.
Yes. Oh, I think it's going to be wet.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
He'll inspire you.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, Wendy. Bye. Oh my goodness. She's flying. She's doing so well. Oh, felt almost a bit emotional there. She's literally just warmed my heart. She's keeping up with everything. That went so much better than I thought it ever would. She's absolutely flying. Good on her.